Dig it.
Hey everyone, welcome to R.age.
Well, you might be a fan or you might be taking your kids, nieces or nephews out for Disney on Ice, which is back in Singapore with Princess Wishes.
But before the actual performance on Ice kicks off tonight at the Singapore Indoor Stadium, I met up with some of the cast and crew to find out more about themselves and what happens behind the scenes.
Yep, so in part 1, Eva talks to 25-year-old professional performance skater Audrey Wong. Now she plays the latest princess character to be introduced, Mulan the Warrior Princess. Eva also speaks to Geek Solano, who is the performance director, and Emily Smith, the head of wardrobe.
Roll the clip. Tell us more about yourself and why did you go into skating as a profession?
As a profession, well, I've skated since I was like 4 years old. My brother played hockey, and it was just a natural progression to continue on. Disney on Ice always came through Vancouver every year, so I got to do a couple live auditions, and then when I finished my high school, they called me, and I jumped on the opportunity to see the world and skate. I love to skate, so.
What is the most difficult part about being a performance skater?
Oh, the most difficult part. I don't know. I love it so much that it's all just every day is so great. Yeah. I've always loved the performance side of skating, even in competitions. That was my favorite part. It was just skating for the audience, and this is a perfect opportunity.
So before a big performance, how many hours of hard work do you actually have to put in of practice?
Well, the show actually... to learn it took about 6 weeks when it was first built, and that was 6 weeks of intense learning steps, learning numbers, getting costumes ready and everything. And when the show gets on the road, it becomes such a constant thing that really we don't need as much practice as you would think because we're trained professionals. But before every opening night, we skate for about an hour, get used to the ice, get used to the building, just get back in our groove.
Is each set, like each ice skating rink, different from country to country?
Well, the seats is different, the venue is different, but all this, we travel with us. So every week we have the same set, same ice floor.
So in other words, you don't really have to adapt too much to the different countries?
Not really.
Okay, now I have to ask, when I watch Disney on Ice, I hear them talking with the mics. I'm wondering, is that really their voices, or do you have voiceovers? Is that really your voice? Are you really Mulan, or is that somebody else? Tell us.
Well, I play the character of Mulan.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's another secret which you will not reveal. How do you deal with pre-performance jitters? Do you get pre-performance jitters by any chance?
Every show. I get a little bit nervous.
And how do you deal with that?
I go out and I skate my heart out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There are times when you will make mistakes on the ice. You'll fall down. Can you relate some funny memories, like how you managed to pick yourself up and just pretend like nothing happened, you know?
That's exactly what you do. You pick up and you carry on, and at the end of the number, it's done. It's over. Everyone's happy that just to see the princesses on the ice. Like, everyone makes mistakes. And even one time I fell in my performance and I got a letter from this family, and it was from a mother, and her daughter was so excited because I'd fallen and I'd gotten back up, and it gave her... She was like, oh, the princesses do it too, you know? And I was like, oh, that was so sweet. Like, even when I thought it was a mistake, it had a positive reaction.
How similar are you to Mulan as a character?
I think we're more similar than I'd like to admit, because she's a cartoon character. But the number in the show is actually all about balance, the balance between hard and soft. And I find that that's something that I really try to put into my daily life.
Well, thanks so much, Audrey. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Sorry. I can't wait to open tomorrow morning in Singapore.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mulan, and we'll see you then on the ice.
Thank you so much.
Look at how comfortably he walks with his skates. Okay, so Gig, tell us about your role as a production director. What do you have to do?
I am responsible for the overall look.
the product that we present to the audience. So it's going to be a very special event for us here, bringing it into Singapore. So this is our first time performing here, and I think I have the best job on the road because I get to watch the show every day. I get to watch every show, get to watch all your favorite Disney princesses' hopes and dreams and wishes come true on ice here in Singapore. So it's going to be a real special treat for the audience when they come and see the show.
Now, you mentioned to me earlier when I asked him, okay, what are you in charge of? Are you the choreographer or are you in charge of the lights and the audio? And he's like, I'm in charge of all of it. So tell us I want to find out more about what you are in charge of. What do you have to do?
Well, artistically, I work very closely with the performers, not only on the choreography and steps of each of the numbers that we perform, but individually with characterization and some acting and blocking on the ice. Not only do I do that for the performance, I also work closely with our stagehands, our technical crew, with lighting and sound, and of course our large set here that'll transport us from the sands of Agrabah during the Aladdin segment to Under the Sea during The Little Mermaid. So it's quite involved, and I really, really like it because there's so many layers and so many different facets that are involved in putting on such a large production like this, and it's really can be a little bit mind-boggling, but at the same time such a big reward when you hear the applause at the end of a performance.
You are in charge of the overall outlook of the entire performance. Do you get pre-performance jitters yourself, sitting in the audience?
Always. You know, there's a little bit of pride and a little bit of heart that you put into each of this performance, just like the skaters and the crew does. So when you sit back, you know, you hope everything goes well. And, you know, knock on wood, we've been very fortunate performing through Southeast Asia. We've had a great response to, like, all the favorite Disney songs that we have here and all the great skating and of course, Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy, who make an appearance in our show.
Okay. Now, Disney is a timeless. Their stories of princesses are timeless classics, and people will always remember. Absolutely. Cinderella, Ariel. You've introduced Mulan this year. Tell us about how different this performance is going to be as compared to the previous performances by Disney.
Well, I think one of the special things, we're combining not only the classic Disney princess stories, we have a little bit of more of the modern Disney princess. We have Belle, a little more independent, out there searching for adventure. We have Ariel, who wishes to live a life above the sea, and Mulan, who's looking for balance in her life, and it's a great moment, the Mulan segment, because there's a bit of audience interaction where the audience gets to learn a little bit of the choreography that the performers do during that segment. Yeah, it'll be great. So hopefully all the kids out there of all ages will join in and participate.
Recently, like you're introducing Mulan, the more feisty kind of princesses, does it reflect as well in the dance choreography and the dance steps?
Well, you know, for the song that we're using for the Mulan segment, it's called Lesson Number 1. It's from the film Mulan 2. And we worked extensively, our choreographer worked extensively with a Tai Chi and Kung Fu master. So we wanted to try to create that movement and balance between being hard and being a little more soft. And it worked out really great. It's a great marriage of the martial arts and skating technique, and it works out great, and I think the audience will really love it.
So another part of the backstage process is getting all dressed up for the performance. And I have Emily over here, who is the head of wardrobe. Important task indeed, yes?
Yes.
And what is your role, and what is your duty, I would say?
I am in charge of maintaining, and we have about 750 costumes on this show, so I'm in charge of keeping them all clean and in good condition, and getting all the skaters dressed and ready to go for the show.
Right, and how are these costumes made? You don't make them personally, right?
No, I don't make most of these. Most of them are actually made in New York by costume houses who, that's all they do all the time is make costumes for different shows, for Broadway and for ice shows. And so most of our costumes are made in New York.
For this performance alone, Disney on Ice, Princess Wishes, right? How many costumes, again, is it 750 just for this one performance?
Just for this one performance, we have over 750 costume pieces, yeah.
Wow, okay, and where do you store all of them? There's only a few over here.
Oh, they have each, we have men's costume rooms and women's costume rooms, and they get pretty crowded.
Yeah? Can you introduce us to some of the more complicated costumes that you have, and maybe tell us something that we don't already know about maintaining costumes?
Well, a couple of my favorites that we've got here. This is one of the gowns that the women wear to Cinderella's waltz. So this is one of my favorites. I think they're beautiful.
Yes, they are very detailed. And how would you maintain something like that? A lot of mothballs and...
Well, trying to keep them dry and clean. Just keep them in good condition.
And what else can you show us?
Another really unique costume. In the movie Beauty and the Beast, there are obviously a lot of non-human characters. So one of the ways that we've created those, this is a piece for the section Be Our Guest. So.
That was a very heavy costume indeed. And he's the cutlery.
Yes. Yes, we have a lot of cutlery, actually.
Now, what is the most difficult part of your job?
Well, there is a lot of job security because things get ripped and torn pretty often, and we have to keep up with keeping everything looking nice.
And how many people do you have in your team to maintain all of this wardrobe?
There are 2 of us on wardrobe, myself and my assistant Satoko, so we keep pretty busy.
Only 2 people for more than 750 costumes.
Yep.
Okay. How many costumes does each character have?
It depends on the performer, but some of them have up to 4 or 5 costumes in the show.
And so how long does it take for them to get in and out of costumes?
Well, obviously it depends on the costume. Something like the napkin is going to take a little bit longer to get in and out of. But some of them quick change in under 2 minutes, so it's pretty fast and a little bit hectic back there sometimes.
How do you make costumes or choose costumes that won't hinder the performers from performing?
Well, a lot goes into designing these costumes, especially with the fact that this is such a movement-oriented show. So a lot of the fabrics are stretch fabrics, and they're made in such a way that the skaters can still move in any way that they need to.
Is there ever a time on set where someone doesn't know where their costume is, can't find it, or is there some sort of emergency? How do you react to that?
It is a live performance, so things like that happen pretty often. People come running into the wardrobe going, "Oh, I popped my zipper and I have to go on stage," and you get pretty good at quick fixes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But the show must go on.
The show must go on. It always does.
Okay. Is there ever a time like the princess will just use the same outfit twice so she can't get into her new one or anything?
No.
So far, no, right?
So far, never happened.
Okay. Well, as long as that doesn't happen, that's fine then. Okay, Emily, now how does a mermaid swim on the ice? And how does Cinderella wear her glass slippers?
Well, both those are Disney magic. You're going to have to come to the show and find out.
Okay, one more question though. Cinderella's dress, right? Mm-hmm. Can we see it?
No, Cinderella's dress only exists when she's wearing it, because the fairy godmother doesn't make it till right before the show.
Wow, 750 costumes for just one performance. It's crazy. How do they, even do their laundry, man?
Exactly. When I was talking to Emily, she actually mentioned that they have to bring their own washing machines and dryers with them to every country as they go along. So, yeah, not easy task at all.
So what is this, big secret that you've been talking about with Disney and all?
Okay, apparently Disney has a lot of magic secrets which they will not reveal. So you'll never see the Cinderella dress before the actual performance. Apparently it only appears on the ice skating rink. It's part of the Disney magic, as they call it. Okay, so even though you went there, you didn't really see anything? I didn't. I only got to see a girl's dress at the Cinderella ball. So it's unnamed characters. Okay, but I guess it's good, like you said, to sort of keep up the Disney magic, because little girls have all these fantasies about being a princess in the Disneyland and all that kind of thing. It would ruin the surprise a bit if you knew everything that happened. So yeah, those are secrets which Disney says, nope, we can't tell you, you'll have to watch and see the magic. Yep. Anyways. Well, okay guys, stay tuned for part 2 where we find out more about the laying of the ice. It's really an art there, and Eva learns some simple tips about ice skating. I do.